Now, the rest of the story.
Welcome back to corn harvest. So I'm in the field that I bought, and it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, to say the least. I came to this field with the mindset, or I was mentally prepared. I was told to be mentally prepared by my agronomist to expect 170 bushels to the acre. So that was in my mind before I even started. Well, the outside rounds were not terrible, but definitely lackluster. The headlands last year, which the headlands are the 24 rows around the outside of the field, last year they ran 255, which in this part of the country, 255 on the outside rounds that has sprayer tracks and more compaction in general, it's pretty impressive. So needless to say, my expectations are very high, probably unrealistically high at this point. And the headlands this year ran 215, dry year, it's expected. Well, after having some setting issues with the combine, I was spitting it all out the back. Well, after I got that, it was adjustment more or less than anything. Got that straightened out. We're still running, okay, there's two different hybrids here. That hybrid that's over there is running 230. This right here is running 250. The stuff that I had last year was 20 to 30 bushel better than this. So, like I said, it's kind of a all over the board deal where I was expecting 170, knowing that it could yield almost 300. Granted, different year, different weather, and I'm still, I'd say the halfway point between the two would pretty well encompass it all. I mean, we've already established the fact that where we were doing all of our yield checks were the poor parts of the field, because we've already harvested them. And those areas were running 180, 190, 195, under 200. And let's just say it's a little bit of a relief seeing that it's yielding what it is. I mean, it's still, my field average is, 40 bushel under last year. But it's still, what, 50 bushels more than what I was expecting to see when I got here. We got a lot of, I don't want to say we have a lot of corn to go anymore. I mean, actually being able to drop in and harvest, and actually being able to keep it away from the combine, it allows us to cover a lot of ground fairly quick. And I'm figuring it's going to take about 2 weeks, not of constant running, because like I already know tomorrow, Brittany cut stalks all day yesterday at the last farm we were at, because we need 250 more bales of corn fodder. And the stuff we made when we harvested a couple days ago, she chopped it up, and we're going to drop in with both balers tomorrow. The other baler is still here. The deer baler is just kind of tedious because the 82 is on the other baler, which has my isobus monitor and everything built right into the console. But I very much want to run 2 balers tomorrow, largely because I want to make sure that we get everything done. So we should be able to make 150, 200 bales tomorrow, which we were planning on doing the majority of those at the home farm. But good stuff. It hasn't been rained on. It's better stuff than the stuff that we made initially, that first 150 bales. So honestly, we would rather go through and make everything that we can tomorrow at my place or the farm that I live on, and just haul some of it out to my brother's place, because right now Ryan needs the majority of it. My dad, he needs a little over 100 to get through the winter for his cattle. Granted, you got to remember, his cattle have more grazing options. So unlike my cattle and my brother's cattle, I'm already essentially bedding mine. I'm giving them that grass off the valley, that reclaimed ground. I'm giving them that grass to lay on, so they have something dry to lay on. I mean, we're not really in fall, winter weather right now. It's 62 degrees out, blue sky, and awesome. It's great harvesting weather. I have trust issues. I really do, and my trust issues stem from the weather can change its mood and snap your fingers, and I would very much just get a bunch of fodder made while we can, rather than gamble on harvesting a bunch from the home farm when we don't know what the weather's going to be in another week. So I figure all of this week, all of next week, and then we won't have very much corn left. It'll just be a little bit around home, and that'll be that. Wide open. So we left a lot of our corn until November to harvest. Not really because we wanted to. I actually didn't plan on it. I actually planned on harvesting a lot in October, because I thought the way things were looking, we were going to be harvesting a bunch of super dry corn in October, because everything was drying out. Hi, how are you? And it just didn't happen. We were checking corn. We pulled samples from 6 of our farms, and the end of October we were pulling samples at 27% yet. You send 27% corn to the elevator, they just laugh and just be grateful that they don't come back and send you a bill. So soybeans are done, as you guys have already seen, and we knocked out a little over 100 acres in 2.5 days, which might not sound that impressive, but with one truck running and it's all going down the road, there's a little bit of a time gap there between when I'm full and when Ryan gets back. But at least the elevator has been running longer hours. We got a better start than we did last year, believe it or not. Last year we had a lot left in November, and it was a fight, which is where probably a lot of my stress is coming from. We had to fight to get the last of our corn off, and that was Thanksgiving week. And I shouldn't say it very loud, but I'm hoping, hi, it's like finally got noticed. I've been waving all afternoon. My stupid farmer planning has it at harvest plus make some fodder this week, through the weekend, next week, and finish up what little bit we have around home, which the closer we are to home, the faster things will get done. Just the way it is, closer to the river and closer to the buildings, because we got a little bit to put in the bins yet, but that stuff will peel off really quick. Make another 50 to 80 fodder bales at the home farm for my cattle, because I have the bare minimum I would need to get my cattle through the winter for bedding. Tillage, I figure a week for tillage. Have everything from corn ground that needs to be ground up with the rotary mower, the 4155. I have a bunch of ground that's all it gets in the fall, and then we'll do our tillage. Not heavy tillage, but we'll disc it in the spring and harrow it. Did that this year and it turned out really nice. I mean, really beautiful seed bed. We were dry. We had germination issues. Even here, I planted this at high population, pushing 40,000 seeds per acre. Didn't have enough moisture. I didn't plant it into moisture if it wasn't readily available, so not everything germinated. So that planter, putting seeds every so many inches apart, did its job, but planting at the higher population at least was able to net me the yields I'm seeing now, because the lack of moisture made up for it with the plants that did come up. Because I do have a bunch where, as you're going across the field, you can see that they germinated later on there, like a month later, and they're like 3 feet tall versus the 7 or 8 feet tall plants that I'm harvesting right now. So supposedly, which I haven't been watching the weather, it's not good for my mental health, but the way it's looking, I've been told, is the next 2 weeks are supposed to be fairly nice weather for November, and if we can get away with 2 weeks of pretty well steady running, what corn we have left by next weekend, not this weekend but the following weekend, I think we'll be sitting really good. So that's all I got for a corn update right now, other than, you know, of course I wish we would have had more done in October, but we planned for it. I mean, would have made more time in November to do some more random stuff, odd jobs at the end of season, but oh well. So, I'll talk to you guys later.